London's famous landmarks are some of the most iconic in the world. If you are planning your first visit to London, you could feel overwhelmed when deciding which ones to see and how to include them in your itinerary. In this video, you will discover most of the famous places in London, the places that are worth taking in the time to visit. So, don't wasting your time. Let's start the video. Number 1 is Buckingham Palace. As the official London residence of the British monarchy, Buckingham Palace is one of the most famous places in London. Many people worldwide would have no trouble recognizing it, and it's certainly up there with the best known London iconic buildings. It takes at least 2 hours to tour the staterooms here, so last entry for the day is usually 2 hours and 15 minutes before closing. As a working palace, it's only open in spring and winter on selected dates. Otherwise, it opens to the public for 10 weeks each year between late July and early October. In the past, it was not possible to see inside the palace, so if you are in London when it is open, a visit is highly recommended. The splendor of the staterooms is an incredible sight to behold. The changing of the guards also occurs several times per week outside the palace. Number 2 is Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey dates back to 960 AD when Benedictine monks first founded it, and the current building began during Henry VIII's reign. Today, it appears on TV screens across the globe when it is used as a venue for an occasion such as a royal wedding. The Abbey is the burial place of 17 British monarchs, and since 1066, it has been the official coronation church. This Gothic style structure is at the center of London life, both literally and metaphorically, with services taking place daily. The Abbey is also the final resting place of over 3,000 notable British figures, including past kings and queens. Special events are regularly held, daily services of worship are held, and a respected research library is on site. Number 3 is Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. The Palace of Westminster is home to the British government's House of the Commons and House of Lords. You can also find the famous Big Ben Tower in London here with its iconic and recently renovated clock face. Some visitors like to take a walk from London Bridge to Big Ben, which takes around 15 minutes. This takes you past the City of London, one of the planet's most important financial centers, and along the River Thames. Guided or multimedia tours should be booked in advance as capacity is limited. The tour is delivered in English and takes you through what happens in Parliament in addition to the rich history of the building itself. Walks offer tour options including a behind the scenes Parliament tour, which is fully guided tour at closing time. Number 4 is the London Eye. The London Eye is the UK's number 1 paid tourist attraction, so it's one of the most highly regarded of all the famous places in London. Your 30-minute flight gives you an incomparable bird's-eye perspective over the city and a sense of scale. As you over the Thames, your transparent compartment allows you to spy on many classic and modern London landmarks. The boat moves slowly, so there's plenty of time to capture what you want on camera while soaking up the magnificent views. Around 3 million people annually take a trip on the London Eye, so book in advance if you'd like to join them. Our dedicated and in-depth London Eye guide explains the options. Number 5 is Tower Bridge. If your visit to the Tower of London has whetted your appetite for seeing more of Tower Bridge, then you may wish to explore this London landmark more thoroughly. It's a Grade 1 listed building dating from 1894 when it opened after 8 years of construction. Tower Bridge is known as a suspension and bascule bridge, which refers to its being movable. This is because two sides open up, allowing taller river traffic to pass beneath. It's the capital's only bascule bridge and was one of the first anywhere to be powered by hydraulics. At Tower Bridge, you can enjoy panoramic cities views from the glass-walled walkway and explore the exhibits displayed in the original Victorian engine rooms. On a clear day, you may even make out Wembley Stadium in the distance, and the views of the Shard and St. Paul's Cathedral are pretty impressive. Number 6 is the Tower of London. The Tower of London is one of the most historical landmarks in London, and exploring it is an experience few want to miss. London's Tower Bridge is one of the most famous sights in the city, and simply by visiting the tower, you'll get to see it at close quarters. At the tower stands right by the bridge on the banks of the Thames. There are lots to see at the Tower of London, including the beefeaters in their famous uniform, the crown jewels, the ancient building, the Fusilier Museum, armor sets, and the Tower resident ravens. Make sure you allow at least a full morning or afternoon. A longer is ideal if you can spare more time. Number 7 is Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus is the British answer to New York's Times Square. The circus part of the name stems from the fact that the road junction is circular, and it was originally created to connect Piccadilly with Regent Street, one of the London's busiest shopping streets. The huge advertising screens at the Statue of Eros are the most famous sight to see at Piccadilly Circus, where nearby areas to explore include Leicester Square and Shaftesbury Avenue, as well as Regent Street. Shaftesbury Avenue is home to some of London's leading theatres, while Leicester Square is famous for hosting many movie premieres. Chinatown can also be found on and around Gerrard Street, a great palace to go if you crave some dim sum during your stay. Number 8 is the British Museum. If you only have time for one museum while in London, add the British Museum to your list of London's most famous places to explore. Located in Gentile Bloomsbury, the museum houses a collection of around 8 million exhibits and tells the story of human history and mankind's artistic and cultural developments. We advise allowing a full morning or afternoon for your visit, as there's so much to see. Witnessing all these historical sites in London is also free of charge, though you may pay for a guided tour or to see specific exhibitions. With the dramatic stone columns marking the entrance, this is the oldest national museum in the world. In fact, it opened in 1759, 17 years before the US Declaration of Independence. The museum once had its own tube station and was also one of the first buildings to use electric lighting. Number 9 is Trafalgar Square. Regarding top London landmarks that can be found outdoors and where you are free to wander at will, Trafalgar Square is one of the finest. The public square is home to some of the best City of London landmarks, including the fountains, the lion statues, and Nelson's Corner. Trafalgar Square is also known among Londoners as a site of protest, and it often hosts religious, political, and social demonstrations. Since the summer of 2003, the square has been connected to the National Gallery via pedestrianised area, and a disabled access lift was also added then. Nelson's Corner was built to commemorate Lord Nelson, who died aboard HMS Victory despite contributing to Britain's 1805 win at the Battle of Trafalgar. The square is also near the Strand, Whitehall, the Mall, and London's Theatre District. Number 10 is Millennium Bridge. At a cost of over 18 million pounds sterling, the Millennium Bridge was a pricey project to complete. It spans the Thames and is currently one of 6 Millennium Bridges in the UK alone. There are others in Newcastle, Gateshead, Salford, Stockton-on-Tees, Lancaster, York, and Glasgow, as well in various locations in worldwide. The bridge is close to the London Eye between the Blackfriars and Southwark bridges. It only takes around 5 minutes to walk across, but there are interesting sites nearby you may want to take your time. Plus, you want to make the most of those incredible views. You may also recognize the bridge as it was used as a filming location in one of the Harry Potter movies. A competition was held in 1996 to find a design for the new bridge, and the winner was made into the resulting structure. Colloquially, is often referred to as the wobbly bridge, and engineers addressed this initial problem was by various kinds of shocking absorbing dampers. Number 11 is St. Paul's Cathedral. With its iconic dome, St. Paul's is set at the City of London's highest point, so it is not only one of the most famous places in London to visit, but also gives visitors sweeping views over the surrounding skyline. The Anglican Cathedral is the seat of the Bishop of London, and visiting it is a way to follow in footsteps of royalty, political leaders, and other dignitaries. Christopher Warren designed the dome, and the present house of worship is the fifth church to stand on the site. While the current structure dates back to the 17th and 18th centuries, churches have been on this site since 604 AD. During your visit, you can climb up the Whispering Gallery inside the dome to witness the unique acoustics, look for famous names down in the crypt, or take in the views from the golden and stone galleries. Number 12 is the Shard. Going up inside the Shard is one of the best things to do in London at night or during the day. Open since early 2013, it has rapidly become one of the most recognizable London landmarks on the city skyline. You can travel up to the 72nd floor of the Shard to take in magnificent sweeping views of the London cityscape from this contemporary skyscraper on the banks of the Thames. The space is divided into offices, apartments, and a hotel. Viewing platform on the 69th and 72nd floors, the highest being open air. A number of restaurants and bars are also located at the Shard, so if you want to dine or drink cocktails there, you may wish to allow longer for your visit. The Sky Lounge is in the Shangri-La Hotel, while other options include eateries showcasing modern British and Northern Chinese cuisine. Number 13 is Hampton Court Palace. As one of the London's historic royal places, Hampton Court is located a little way out of London in leafy Surrey. The train journey from Waterloo takes just over half an hour, so getting to this slightly lesser known of London's most famous landmarks is easy. The glorious gardens are every bit as impressive as the interior are home to the Hampton Court Palace maze. This is very well known and is the oldest hedge maze found in the UK today. It takes up a third of an acre, and it is thought to have been commissioned by William III. Other highlights of the gardens include the Magic Garden, which is great for kids, the Royal Kitchen Garden, and the Great Wine is in the Glass House. You can see Henry's 8 kitchens, the Great Hall, William III's apartment, the Cumberland Art Gallery, and the Chapel Royal, and more inside the palace. Number 14, Kensington Palace. Kensington Palace was in some ways the predecessor to Buckingham Palace, as it was the favored royal residence until 1760. Queen Victoria was born here, and the public left masses of floral tributes to Princess Diana outside the palace following her death. Kensington Palace was also home to her son Prince William, his wife Kate, their children, and several other members of the royal family. Despite its grandeur, this palace has a more relaxed, intimate feel than the more imposing Buckingham Palace. These things to see when visiting include themed exhibitions, the King's and Queen's State Apartments, the story of Queen Victoria and the Jewel Room, outdoors, Kensington Palace Gardens are also delightful and can be explored without needing a ticket. Number 15, Shakespeare's Globe. Stratford-upon-Avon is one of the England's most famous places associated with playwright William Shakespeare, and it is his birthplace. London, though, it's home to reconstruction of his Globe Theatre, which has become one of the most popular landmarks in London since it opened in 1997. The Globe is also close to the South Bank and the Millennium Bridge, so visiting several sites simultaneously is simple as an open air theater performances go ahead. Whatever the weather, so dress appropriately if you have tickets. If you are not attending a play, you can book a guide tour if you want to see inside the theater. These can be booked directly or via third parties such as London Theatre District.